Pray thee, and welcome back to my vlog. It's 1688 here in Plymouth in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. My days have been so busy lately. I get up each morning and read the Bible, but the majority of my time is spent helping my mother take care of my younger brothers and sisters. As a Puritan, it is important that I understand the duties of being a good Puritan wife. A good wife is expected to be an excellent wife and mother and do her work industriously and silently. In addition, it is looked down if women complain or argue, but it is forbidden to fight with your husband. He is the head of the family, and as we learned in church, we are expected to obey what he says. I do aspire to be a good Puritan wife, and I'm lucky that women nowadays are living longer and able to have larger families. When I do get married, I will no longer be my father's responsibility, but my husband's, as we here in Massachusetts Bay follow coverture rules. Under coverture rules, a woman is never independent of a man. She passes from her father to her husband, and only if she is widowed is she separate from a man. I don't know how I feel about this, but it's the way our community is run, and I do not want to end up the same way that Anne Hutchinson did when she decided to speak out with different ideas than what we are taught in church. Well, anyways, tomorrow is the start of our growing season, and around here, each member of our family is expected to help. The work that my brothers and I will be doing is separate, but each of us is needed to help have a successful growing season. I have to get back to work now, but I'm looking forward to the corn husking tonight, where my friends and I will get to gather and have fun without being under our parents' strict rules. Farewell for now.
Hello, and welcome back to my vlog. It's 1860 and we are still on the Oregon Trail, and it has been the most outrageous few months. Since leaving Boston for Missouri and now as we head out west, so much has changed. I was really excited for this journey at the start, but as it continues to stretch on, I wish it would just be over. The difficult trip has certainly had an effect on everyone, but at least our family is getting on pretty well. Some of the other families have been fighting so much more than usual, and it's very hard to watch. I have also been walking a lot more, as my mother's siblings and I walk alongside the wagon while my father rides in it to control the oxen. When we settle down at our stop each night, my mother has to cook over an open fire, and I know she misses her kitchen back home with its nice stove and a big space to prepare a meal. I wonder if, as we continue heading west and eventually find a new home in this land, whether she'll abandon the routines and ideas that she had once had in Boston. My least favorite job on the trail is laundry. I have to find a river or creek to do it in, and I do not enjoy having to scrub all the clothes while watching younger siblings to make sure that they don't fall in the river and drown. My mother thinks that working with animals is unbecoming of a young lady, but I love when my father lets me help with the oxen. I have also read stories about girls who get taken by Indians, and it sounds so scary. As much as I fear this happening to me, I find the stories and adventures of these women so wild to read. I think I'm going to write a story about this once it's over. I hope people would want to read what I write. Now it's time for dinner, so I must go. Goodbye.
Since January, my understanding of women's history has changed greatly. I came in with some previous knowledge about how women's experiences out west looked different than they did in the east, but that was really the extent of it. Learning about the gender complementary societies of Native North American women was interesting, because it shows how the lifestyle of these tribes necessitated a more balanced division of labor where women were more empowered. They had religious and political influences in their communities, whereas European colonial women did not. However, I believe the area I have learned the most in is the role of female activists from the early Republic through the Civil War. For example, women who advocated against slavery, such as Maria Stuart. She and other free Black women were challenging a system that discriminated against them based on both their race and their gender. She and the Fortin sisters, who founded an abolitionist society, are examples of women inserting themselves into a conversation they had previously been excluded from. I find it interesting that in high school, abolition was covered every year, yet we only heard about the male activists such as William Lloyd Garrison. When comparing the past and present experiences of women in North America, obviously there are many differences, but some similarities do remain. Women successfully campaigned for the right to vote and are entering professions that were previously considered for men, such as law and medicine. However, women's experiences in these professions is significantly different from their male colleagues. Women's physicians make, on average, $108,000 less than men
after hours and specialty are accounted for. A question I've personally been asked is how I plan to be a good wife and mother if I'm a physician working long hours, which demonstrates that the notion of being a woman is inherently tied to our ability to raise a family. The good wife ideal of Puritan societies still lurks in the background of present-day America. In addition, violence against women is a common theme throughout history, from the rape of slave women to the Chinese immigrant women being sold into sex slavery. It took until 1993 for marital rape exemptions to be removed from the law, and 1 in 5 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime, whereas the statistic for men is 1 in 71. This shows that this is an experience that predominantly affects women and has throughout North American history. While great advances have been made in the experiences and status of women throughout history, there is still a long way to go. Engaging with women's history is important to learn about the integral ways that women have shaped the story of our country. Thank you.